deepest hole ever just been dug in central Queensland. Here to reveal all is Frazer Tabeart, the Managing Director of Alma Metals. Frazer, it's great to see you again. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Shane. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Mate, I've been dying to hear more about the deepest hole ever that's just been dug at the Brigg Copper Project. You were aiming for a depth of 900 metres. What depth did you actually get to in the end? And did you achieve everything you wanted to?
I'll answer the second one first with a resounding yes, we did. We're very pleased with the drill hole. We actually terminated at a depth of just 809.9 metres, so let's call that 810 between friends. And we'll throw the challenge out there, see if anybody's drilled a deeper hole in central Queensland on a porphyry copper. We're very, very happy with that hole. It was done really with two goals in mind. Firstly, we wanted to drill across the entire mineral resource as we currently know it. As ultimately part of an infill drilling program. But then we also had this quite exciting deep geophysical anomaly on the southwest side of the known mineralisation, particularly closer to some of the high grade parts within the mineral resource estimate. So it was important for us to test that concept, and I think it was the combination of those two that allowed this to be partly funded through the collaborative exploration initiative through the Queensland government. So we're very grateful for the support that's been provided there.
The ASX release you put out on the 3rd of November around this hole indicated that you were quite happy with the outcome. Can you expand on what that is for everybody watching today?
Yeah, look, really, really pleased with the outcome. I mean, the first and probably most important thing is, when we went, the whole drill through the entire known mineral resource, and it certainly has validated the block model from that. So we saw geology entirely consistent with what we were predicting, almost to the point of embarrassingly accurate in terms of where we intersected the sort of the key geological contacts. But also more importantly, where the sort of the resource model was predicting that we should see higher grades, at least visually, and I put the usual cautionary statements around that, because we don't have assays yet, but certainly visually, what we've seen in the core would support that. Particularly sort of 100 metres either side of the contact on the south and west side of the project, where we go from the intrusive core into the surrounding volcanic. So sort of 100 metres either side of that contact, we're seeing visually some of the better mineralisation that we've seen, and that's entirely as predicted by our resource block model. So very pleasing to see that. That's obviously in for assay at the moment. So we'd expect sort of the upper part of the hole that we put in for assay about 4 or 5 weeks ago. We should be getting assays on that quite shortly. The deeper part a little bit later. And then I guess then in terms of did we answer the questions on what does that deep geophysical anomaly represent? Yes, we believe we have, and that's ultimately the reason why we terminated the hole at 810 metres and not drilled to the full 900. Sort of as we came out of the higher grade zone in the past that contact, the visual estimation of the copper grade gradually dropped off. But what we were seeing in those zones were a number of sulfide veins, sort of millimetre to maybe a few tens of millimetres in thickness, pyrite and occasional chalcopyrite veins, and we were able to demonstrate that they were connected using a multimeter, certainly at the scale in a piece of core. So we think that sort of adequately explains the VTEM anomaly, and it's sort of a natural part of a porphyry system where you do get some of these sulfide veins, particularly pyrite rich, as you move into the distal parts of the deposit. So unfortunately it's not the next Grasberg, but it's certainly given us a lot of knowledge about the deposit, and we're obviously very, very encouraged by the nature of the mineralisation we saw around that contact zone.
Listen, Frazer, it is rare that a junior explorer gets to drill a hole of this depth. So what does this mean overall for the Briggs Copper Project now?
Well, first I guess it's sort of validated, just how large the system is. You can drill an 800 metre deep hole, and the vast majority of it's got visible mineralisation in it, so that's very encouraging. As I said, the validation of our resource block model, particularly the potential higher grade zones is very important to us. So, we've immediately decided to drill another hole. So we're going to move, well, we have moved the drill rig on a step out section 80 metres to the northwest of the current, the deep hole. So that started drilling about a week ago. We think that'll take another 2 to 3 weeks to drill. Got a target depth of about 350 to 400 metres. And hopefully we'll see the strike extension of that, visually impressive mineralisation, either side of that contact. So, certainly some really interesting news flow on that. We'd expect over the next couple of months as we drill that hole, and then ultimately, get the assays later this year or early next.
Well, I'm super looking forward to those assay results coming in. Frazer, thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to the next update.
Yeah, same here. Thanks a lot.